and we all agree. I mean, if you ask an expert, between 5 and 7% of this nation has long-term care insurance. That's absurd. And why don't the other 93 to 95% have it? You could say affordability, but that's not true. It's not as expensive as people think. It is because it's the hardest topic to talk about. I remember when my mom died and my dad and I were in the funeral home, and very rough. They were married 54 years. And when we were all done picking things out, the funeral director, looked at me and said, "Would you like to arrange and pay for your dad's funeral?" And I want to tell you my dad's reaction. Is there something wrong that I don't know? He might have used some expletives too as well. And at first that sounded so terrible to me, to be honest with you. Why would you? And I didn't say it, but I thought to myself, why would you even bring that up? I mean, my dad's got, I hope, another 20, 30 years left in him. Unfortunately, he didn't, but he got some great time in. But you know what? I've already paid for my funeral because I know how I felt during my father's, time, and I had arranged for this. And I don't want my kids going through that. So that was a terrible topic to me 25 years ago. But you get older, you go, no, I don't want my kids to, dad wants the brown one or the blue one, or which cape should we put dad in when we bury him? It's these are very rough decisions. This is all picked out for me. And I think it's the same with long-term care insurance. There are great, great, great people out there that are looking forward to taking care of their parents. And that's wonderful. But I know, I can tell you from firsthand point of view, they don't realize what's involved. They just don't. You get a great satisfaction out of doing it, but it is a tremendous intrusion on your own life, even though you're proud to do it, on your career, on your living, how much money you make, and those are ramifications that hit you years after mom and dad have passed. So it's emotion is why nobody in this country buys long-term care insurance. I'm not going to mention his name because I don't want to embarrass him, but he's one of the top LTC people in the country, and his closing ratio is unbelievable. You got to close people. You got to convince people because and he said, "Michael, I'm going to tell you how I close more people than anybody." I said, "What?" He said, when the father looks at me and says, "I have 2 daughters and I don't need long-term care. Thank you for the annuities. Thank you for this. You're my favorite financial planner. But long-term care, that's taken care of. I have 2 daughters, and they're the best people in the world." He said, "I've actually got to a point where I've just said that's so wonderful. Let me pack up my stuff, and that's so great. And I got to tell you, you're more man than me if you're going to be able to have your daughters with you in the shower, helping you off the toilet." He said, "I know this sounds terrible, Michael. It was on the show." He said, "But 9 out of 10 times they go, 'What'd you just say?' What do you mean? You're going to need help in the shower, in the bathroom, when you fall down, when you are sick." And I think it's wonderful that, you're going to put your pride aside and let your daughter do that. And he says 9 out of 10 times they go, "Open up your briefcase and come back here." I thought they're going to take care of me. They're going to make sure I'm comfortable. Well, that's not caretaking. That's being a good daughter or a good son. Caretaking is being there next to you in the shower when you need it.
Yes. And I think that is a really good point because in general, most of the caretakers are going to be the daughters.
Yes.
It is how it is. And I because I'm somebody who, as you could probably tell, I am a caretaker at heart.
Mm-hmm.
And these are some of the things with my parents, even. My mom has MS, so I've had to help her when she's had surgeries, and I have no problem going and showering her and helping do all that. Luckily, my dad's not needed that help because I love him so much. He is like my best friend. The idea of showering him, I know it would make him freak out, but I
That's
wouldn't
right.
even want to do that to him.
That's right.
So, while I could do this with my mom, and I think people really have to think what that looks like, especially when incontinence comes to play. Um, there's still a level of dignity I think that we all want to have at every point.